So now we're ready to see how all of these different 10x elements come together. So we started with the 10x exercises, forming our 10x circuit, 3 exercises per circuit. And we have 2 circuits per routine always, so 6 exercises per routine. And the routine I'm about to demonstrate to you specifically is the 6x alpha 1 routine performed at the gym. And so the purposes of this video is to actually show you a real-life demonstration of me doing this workout, how I track, how I move from exercise to exercise, how I perform each exercise, how I implement the different techniques. And so watch me explain each of the different exercises so you really understand how this all comes together. Now, the first thing I'm doing right now is I'm actually pulling up data insofar as that I have data from the previous workout. Before every workout, I sit down, I take my time, I don't feel rushed, and so I pull up data from the previous workout. And so I actually review it. I see, okay, where could I have improved? Where do I need to go up in weight? Where did I under-select, so I need to go up in weight? Or where was it too heavy? Maybe I need to adjust something. Where's an opportunity for improvement? Where do I really need to put most of my attention for the workout for improvement? And things like that. So I'll kind of create a target for myself for that specific workout. And I'm not trying to improve necessarily on every single workout. All I'm doing here is trying to look for it's a particular exercise or the particular point of the workout where I really feel like I need to improve. And it could be in different, let's say, places for different workouts. But you have to have at least 1 or 2 primary targets that you're aiming for to improve in that particular workout. Now, again, that can be improvement in reps in an exercise. Again, reducing total workout time. It could be to go up in weight if you are ready to do so. And so let's actually see what this looks like. Okay, so here you can see me looking at my previous workouts data, getting the timer ready. And so now I'm actually reviewing my previous data, ready to go. And as you can see, I put the clock down. As I click start, I start my first rep. That's why my first rep's a little bit fast because I'm trying to sync my rep cadence to 5 seconds per rep. And so notice again, I'm slightly artificially controlling my positive. So my negative is completely controlled at a 3-second cadence. My positive, I'm holding back a little bit. I could go a lot faster, but I'm waiting until the 8th or 9th rep where I can actually push as fast as I possibly can. But it will still look slow because it's so heavy at that point. I'm so weak and it's so heavy at that point that even if I try to push as fast as I possibly can, it's still going to be quite slow. So again, here's my accentuated negative. 1, 2, 3. I pause at the bottom and then I push up. And up again, slowly down, and I reach failure. Okay, that's exactly a perfect 10x set where I hit failure on the 13th rep. Now I'll stay on that weight the next workout until I can get to 14 reps for 2 workouts in a row. Okay, so now this is a good example of where my next machine isn't set up. It was set up. So actually before this workout, I made sure that my machines were ready. But again, this is a non-private gym, so everyone will be moving stuff around. But this is a good example where now I know I'm losing total workout time, but what I'm benefiting is I'm getting increased rest. And so my increased rest will allow me to have a slightly better improvement on either this particular exercise or down the line of exercises, right? So I get into position, I make sure that I've got enough support in my legs so that I'm fully supported. And then again, first rep is a bit fast, trying to sync my first repetition to a 5-second cadence, setting me up for the following reps. Again, fast positive, pause at the bottom, and 1, 2, 3, get to the top and pull. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, pull down as fast as I can. Good. I actually squeeze my hands at this point really focused on my back muscles here. Again, fast, positive. Again, when my positive looks slow, it's only because it's becoming so heavy, I'm becoming so weak that even if I try to pull as fast as I can, I really struggle. However, my negative is still artificially controlled to keep it slow, so I accumulate more time under tension in my negative phase. Again, exactly at 12 repetitions, will not even be able to do my 13th rep there. I already knew that, so I just went on to the next exercise. I'm so happy that in this case, my chest press is right next to my lat pull down. Now, it's not always going to be the case in every gym. Now, again, I already know my numbers, right? So if you don't know your numbers, don't start your workout when you don't know what your numbers are going to be. So you kind of have to memorize them in the beginning when you don't have no clue. But again, after a while, you become so, let's say, sensitive to these numbers. You always know what the number is or should be. And so here I'm actually taking an opportunity to show you how I quickly put in the data for the 2 exercises I just did. I put the phone down and I start my timer. Make sure I'm in the right position and I start. Again, first rep a little bit fast, trying to get syncing my 5-set cadence. Pause at the back, pause and push. 1, 2, 3, pause at the back and push. Again, I don't want to pause with my arms extended. I want to pause in the stretch position and then push as far as I can or as fast as I can. Always the same case. 1 second positive, 3 second negative, pause and push. Again, when I get tired, even though I'm going to push as fast as I possibly can, and my 1 second positive will eventually turn into a 2 second or maybe sometimes even a 3 second positive, as you'll see with my shoulder press at the end of this workout. Looking at the timer, syncing my reps. Now, please keep in mind, see, there's a good example of my positive becoming really slow and really struggling on the negative. At this point, I'm really, really feeling the burn. Okay, quickly move on to the next exercise. Now, at this point, I'm just hoping the leg press is still available, and amazing it is. And if it's not, again, it's not the end of the world. You wait for the machine to be free, and you just kind of, in some cases, you can just alternate the exercise, but because I'm doing the leg press here, I don't really want to do another exercise here, so I'd rather make the trade-off in waiting. Now, notice here that this is now my second circuit. I just finished my first circuit. I started my second circuit, which is my 4th exercise. And now at this point, I'm pre-fatigued, right? So I'm already tired from the first leg press set. So this is what you call pre-fatigue, that I'm not going to make 12 reps on this set, right? How can I? I'm already quite tired. So I'm only going to make 8 reps in this set. But then I do what I call rest pause technique. So I've got 4 reps left here. So I want to make sure I get to 12. So I do a rest pause technique. I relax. I rest just long enough until I feel ready that I can do 4 reps, right? Remember, I've got to do 4 more reps here. So this is the rest pause technique. I rest so I can get my last 4 reps. Now, this is expected in your second circuit. Traditionally, you would do some kind of a hinge movement in the 6X Alpha 1, but there's no real good, let's say, deadlift machine in this gym. So I opt for another leg press set, which I do here. And at this point, it is brutal. My legs are on fire, my arms are on fire, and I try not to waste time because I know if I want to improve in my workout time, I need to move quickly. I already lost time in my lat pull down, and so try not to waste time here. Okay, quickly moving to my seated row. Now remember, I've done a leg press, a pull down, a chest press, and then I did leg press again for starting my second circuit. Now moving on to my seated row, which is now a horizontal pull. I've already done a vertical pull. Now I'm doing a horizontal pull. Same thing. Pull hard, pause, and 1, 2, 3. I don't rest with my arms extended. I only pause in the fully contracted position, which is right there. 1, 2, 3. My mind is completely focused on my back. It may not look that way, but I'm completely focused on my arms and my back. I've become so sensitive to the feeling that right now my mind is literally in my muscle. It's in my latissimus dorsi. It's in my biceps. And I'm trying to maintain good form so that I don't have to do rest pause technique. But remember, I've done a lat pull down already, right? So it's the same muscle group. So I'm quite tired. Now I have another 2 reps left, okay? So it's going to be expected to do rest pause technique for almost every exercise in your second circuit, right? In exercise 4, 5, and 6, you're going to probably do rest pause technique because you're pre-fatigued in these exercises. That's why I also do the most important exercises first, which is the leg press, the vertical pull, and then the chest press. Okay, done with my horizontal pull. Now I go to my vertical push. But now someone is there's only one shoulder press available, so I have to wait, right? So I could go and use another machine, but it's not exactly the same machine. But I'm going to make the trade-off here. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm rather going to wait and use the exact same machine that I'm used to, because the other machine is actually right to my right. You can actually see right to my right there, the guy's not doing a shoulder press, but that's also occupied. So, damn spiders. All right, so lucky enough, this guy was on his last set. I didn't have to wait too long, and I can make up for some time here. Getting ready for my last exercise. And so this will happen, and you'll have to make trade-offs, right? So you say, okay, I'm going to have to just wait until this guy's done on the machine, if I really need to stay on that machine, or if it's the only one available. So you are losing time, but you are also gaining rest. And so try to make up for that lost time in unbroken reps. Okay, so for example, let's say in my previous workout, I only did 7 reps, which I did do because I'm so tired at this point, right? So if I only did 7 reps here, now, because I rested so long, I'm like, okay, I've lost time here. At least now I'm going to make up for that. So I think I did 8 reps here. I got 1 extra rep. But now again, good example. Did I improve on my previous workout's shoulder press? Or because of the extra rest time, I got an extra rep? Don't know. So we just cannot know that. So I don't attribute that to any form of progress. Now later in the series, I will show you exactly how I track my workout and what it will look like when all the variables we track in terms of volume, total load, total workout time, power to weight ratio, and all those things, so that I can make so I can know exactly where I made progress and where I didn't. Okay. Now notice here, look at my positives, going to be extremely slow in my last rep. That is like a 3, 4, 5 second positive, even though I was pushing as fast as I can. And there you have it.